Hey guys, happy Easter! Oh, it's just such an exciting time of year, and I was just wondering, do you guys actually know what Easter's all about?
Well, yeah, of course we do, Rob. Easter's all about the Easter Bunny. And oh, I've never met that guy, but he seems like a really cool guy because he goes around and he's got those little eggs, and I don't know where he gets those eggs from because, as far as I know, bunnies don't actually have eggs, but he's got these eggs and they're special chocolate eggs, and he hides them around and they're all colorful, and you gotta go find them and eat some chocolate. Oh man, I love eating chocolate just about as much as I love eating pizza. Whoa, what if there was like a chocolate pizza? Or even better, what if there was a pizza flavored Easter egg? Oh man, that would be really good.
Well, Morton, I'm really glad you're excited here, man, but uh, Easter's not about the Easter Bunny. Easter's not about collecting eggs or anything like that. That's something fun that we do at Easter time, but Easter's about a lot more than that.
Well, you're gonna have to explain this to me then, man, because I don't really know what else it could possibly be about. I mean, what's more important than eggs and chocolate and bunnies? And pizza, for that matter.
Well, actually, Easter's a really cool time of year because it's the time when we celebrate Jesus' death and resurrection. And it might seem weird celebrating a death, right? But Jesus, when he died, it was like the most important thing that's ever happened in human history. Because when Jesus died, he took all the sins of the whole world on him. And when he died, he paid the price for all those sins. And because of his sacrifice, we can have a relationship with God.
Oh yeah, I think I remember hearing about this before. But I don't really remember how it ends. Keep going.
Well, good. I'm glad that you want me to keep going because that isn't the end. Easter is about so much more than Jesus' death. Easter is about the fact that Jesus didn't only die for us, but he also came back to life. He defeated death. And he conquered it. He rose from the dead and he came back to life. He had completely died, but he came back to life, and that's what we celebrate at Easter time.
Wait a second, then what does all the, like, bunnies and the chocolate and everything have to do with it?
Well, that's a great question, and I don't really know the answer to that. There's a lot of different things that people think maybe came from that, but the weird thing is that we celebrate that and we think about the bunny and the chocolate and all that stuff, but a lot of people forget about what Easter is really all about, and that's Jesus dying and, most importantly, rising again, coming back to life and conquering death. And actually, Morton, I'm glad that you're here because I actually have another animal in mind that I was thinking would be actually an even better animal to represent Easter time. Better than a bunny.
Better than a bunny? Well, I have no idea what that could be. Maybe it's like, oh, I know, it's probably like the Easter dolphin. Because dolphins, as you know, are really, really good at coming back to life.
How, what? I don't know where you're getting your facts, Morton, but dolphins don't come back to life.
Well, that's news to me, man. I don't know what to believe anymore. You better tell me what you're talking about, because I am so confused.
What else is new, Morton? You are a very confused badger. No, I wasn't thinking about dolphins. I was thinking about butterflies. Because butterflies, maybe you don't know this, but butterflies are very cool creatures in the sense that when they're young, in their younger stage, they're caterpillars. And caterpillars go through their whole life and they eat and they do things that caterpillars do, and they get to a certain part in their life where they make a cocoon and they create this little package for themselves and they put themselves in it. And what happens within that cocoon? Well, they turn into a butterfly. And it's one of the cool mysteries of nature. God made them that way. And it's really cool because it's almost like a representation of what Jesus did. Now, caterpillars don't die when they go into their cocoon, but it's kind of like a picture of Jesus dying and going into the tomb. And that cocoon that the caterpillar's in is almost like the tomb that Jesus is in. And then one day, after 3 days of being in that tomb, Jesus bursts forth and comes back to life in the same way that a caterpillar changes into that butterfly and bursts forth, comes out of that cocoon into this whole new life that it has for itself. And Jesus did the same thing. He came back to life and he didn't go through any like transformation or anything when he was dead, but he was dead. He was put in this tomb, and he came back to life, kind of in the same way that a caterpillar goes in and comes out as a butterfly. And Morton, I've actually got one last thing to share with you here.
Well, that sounds pretty good. This is making a whole lot of sense now, but I'm really hoping that the last thing you have to share is that whole thing about dolphins coming back to life, because that's still a little bit confusing to me.
Well, I explained that doesn't actually happen, Morton. That's just something that I don't know where you got that, to be honest.
Oh, man. I have got so much information in my head, I just don't even know what's real and what's not. Well, what's this last thing you want to share with me, Rob?
Thank you, Morton. The last thing I want to share is actually I want to read something straight from the Bible with you. So Luke chapter 24 has a really cool. The whole story of the resurrection is in here. We're just going to read a little part of it when Jesus has come back to life and he goes back to see his disciples, the people who followed him. As he spoke, he showed them his hands and his feet, because his hands and his feet had nail marks from when he died, right? Still, they stood there in disbelief, filled with joy and wonder. Then he asked them, "Do you have anything to eat?" They gave him a piece of broiled fish, and he ate it as they watched. Then he said, "When I was with you before, I told you that everything written about me in the law of Moses and the prophets and in the Psalms must be fulfilled." Then he opened their minds to understand the scriptures, and he said, "It was written long ago that that the Messiah would suffer and die and rise from the dead on the third day. It was also written that this message would be proclaimed in the authority of his name to all the nations, beginning in Jerusalem. There is forgiveness of sins for all those who repent. You are witnesses of all these things." So there's Jesus. He shows up and he surprises all those people and he tells them, "Look, I knew this was going to happen. I told you guys, but maybe you didn't believe me, but here I am. I'm alive. It's me. And because I've done this, because I died for you, because I rose from the dead and conquered death, there is hope for you. You can be saved." And that is what we celebrate at Easter time.
That is super cool, man. I really enjoy that story. But I'm still wondering where the dolphins fit in, man. You're just gonna have to explain that one to me sometime.
Oh, Martin.